Hello YouTube and welcome to another poker video. Today we are going to be going over the best tournaments to buy into with your satellite tickets. At the same time, this Ace Jack tournament, we satellited into that. Super PKO Semi-Turbo, $30 buy-in. We're going to be playing that as well in the background. If you play these tournaments pictured above, instead of winning money, you win a entry into another tournament. And if you haven't played them before, you definitely should, especially on smaller bankrolls, because you will be able to get into bigger buy-ins for cheaper. So we're going to be going over every single one of those and what tournaments you should buy into if you win them, because like I said, if you haven't played them, you should start if you play tournaments because they're also really soft. Let's get into it. Pretty much this video is for the satellite to any tickets, and I got a list of the top 2 or 3 for every single buy-in, all the way to $30, but we'll briefly talk about the other buy-ins as well. I'm also going to show you guys all the tables. As you can see, this Ace King is at the crazy 8s, but whenever I bust tournaments, I'll show what I buy into after, just because I don't have a ton of footage of this session. And one final thing real quick. I'm going to act as if so for example, for the next very first one, the $5 satellite, I'm going to treat it as if you have a bankroll that's really small. Like for $5, it'd be like $50. You deposit $50. You see a random tournament for $1 and it happens to be the $5 satellite. Let's say you win that. Royal flush, wow, but say you win that. I'm going to tell you the top tournaments for the $5 that you should play. And I'm actually going to do it right now. So number 3 for the $5, I got the Micro Nightly. It runs a little later. It runs between, let me check. Okay, it's the tournament that is between the minor niner, or no, the super big crazy 8s and the minor niner. I have that one at number 3, and then number 2, the super early 1K guarantee monster stack. It runs between the 1,000 guaranteed 10K chips, $10, and then the tournament right before it is the PKO Niner. And then number 1, I have the $500 guaranteed. It's between the $10 crazy 8s and the Hyper Turbo around the same time as the second one. I have these ones because the fields are smaller and the blinds do not go up very fast, which is going to lower your variance and give you more time to get big hands against opponents that will easily call off. And then from 3 to 2, it has to just do with how many players, and then 2 to 1. So the number 2 placement has 200 players. The number 1 placement has 100 players, which also is going to decrease your variance because you have to beat less people. Moving on to the $7 buy-in. At number 3, I have the $500 knockout, which runs around the same time as the number one for $5. Yeah, just between the 1,500 guaranteed and 10K chips and the same crazy eights. And then at number two for $7, I have basically the same tournament. Instead, though, it's a $500 PKO, which just runs 2 hours after the $500 knockout. I have that one above the knockout because the progressive knockout means the bounties get bigger, which is better because you make more money if you win. And then for number one, my personal favorite tournament, the Turbo Monster Stack, at least for like the low stakes, it's a 1,200 guarantee now. It is a turbo and no bounties, but I have it at number one simply because it's a really soft tournament. And from my personal experience, super easy to get deep in that one. And also, I want to point out as well that I haven't played every single tournament on here, especially like for me in America, like the really late night ones, I haven't really played a lot of, and some of those are really good. Like the ones that run around the smaller micro and low rollers, those tournaments I haven't really played that much. Oh, and also for the $5, I did think about the micros, but they were my snubs for the $5. Honestly, to make this all easier, I'm going to go back and edit all of this. I'm going to show you which tournaments I'm talking about so you just know, instead of trying to explain when they run. With all that, let's move on to the $10 buy-ins. So there's a lot of these on Ignition, but my top three are the high fives, 1,555 at number 3. At number 2, I got the 5K guaranteed monster stack. Right now it's listed as an event, but you know which one I'm talking about. And then number 1 is the 1K guaranteed 10K 10-minute levels. It also runs around the time as the $500 buy-in, or the $500 guarantees we've talked about already. It is number 1 simply because the field is super small. Yeah, and you got decently long blinds. 10-minute levels is pretty decent. And then, yeah, the high fives is simply number 3. It is a turbo, but it's just a small field and really soft. A lot of these late night tournaments are a lot softer. And then the 5K guaranteed is a big field. But hear me out. Them longer blinds really make it worth it. You can definitely make deep runs in that tournament if you play it often enough. And from if you're like not very well bankrolled and you make it in through a satellite, it's really easy to cash as well. I actually even have a video of me coming back from 100 chips in that tournament. So I can promise you that one is soft as well. But let's go ahead and move on to the $15. We're getting to the bigger ones now. At number 3, I have, so for the micro and low rollers, I put the night one basically above the regular one just because it's a smaller field. And yes, I have played them. Just everything else around that time I haven't played. But yeah, number 3 is the low roller at night. Number 2, the 1500 guaranteed. That also runs at the opposite time of the day as the low roller on this list. And number 1, listen, my biggest cash ever video, you already know. I'm sure you probably have seen it. That video, the tournament that video is in is number 1. $4 PKO. I have it at number 1. Once again, bounties can make it a little more worth it, because even if you don't cash, if you just get some bounties, like, you know, you're gonna make money. And especially in that tournament, people really like to go crazy. And yeah, you can just go watch my video of my new biggest cash ever to see what it's like to go deep in that tournament. It's pretty soft. Number 2 is just number 2 because of the field size, and same with number 3. We also have videos of number 2, but yeah, I don't know. You have to find them. Let's move on to the $20. So these, I haven't played a lot of $20 tournaments lately, I guess, because I couldn't even find more than 3. But number 3, I got the Hyper that runs late. Number 2 is the Extra Play, and number 1 is the 2500 guaranteed freeze out that also runs in the morning. That one is number 1 because of the field size. And even though the Extra Play has longer blinds, the freeze out monster stack has bigger chip stacks that you start with. So I don't think that the Extra Play having longer blinds necessarily makes it better. But they're both really good. Like, I'd pick either one of those, honestly. The Hyper, it just didn't get knocked off because there's no other $20 buy-ins that I really played a lot of. I'm not going to speak on tournaments I haven't played from my own personal experience to try to make this list as accurate as possible. But holy cow, we're going through the video, so let's speed it up. So I'm just going to show 25 and 30 now. 25 is the 12K monster stack. Big field, so you could win a lot, but also it's a big field, so it's going to be harder to cash in that one. Number 2 is the 3K guaranteed semi-turbo monster stack, which happens to be the tournament I am... Wait, no, never mind. No, that's the tournament like right after this one that I didn't play this night. And number 1 is the 2K guaranteed 10K chip 10-minute levels, also runs at night. Once again, it's just about the field size with these. And then $30, I got the 6K 10K chips, which there is a 6K 10K chips 10-minute levels, but this 10K chips regular one has longer blinds, so it's ahead. Number 2 is the 5K guaranteed semi-turbo monster stack, runs a little after the tournament I'm in right now. And then number 1 is this tournament. I won a $30 satellite, and this is the tournament I decided to play. Well, the one that video is about. Yeah, you'll see here soon. And then for the buy-ins that are over 30, for 40, I got events because I haven't really played the regular $40 tournaments that much. $50, the nightly 40K. It's a big-ass field, but it's pretty soft. We got some deep runs in that. And then for $75 buy-ins, I got events as well. $100 buy-ins, I got the $100 monster stack that runs in the morning. It runs every day. Small field-ish. And then for the $150 buy-in, I got the weekly 150K, which stay tuned because we got a new deepest run in that last night, which is going to be the next video after this. But yeah, basically, if you win a satellite and you're trying to buy into a new tournament and you're not really sure which one, hopefully this helps. If you don't play on Ignition and you're watching this trying to get advice, basically you want to look for tournaments that have small fields, slow blinds, if you can soft, and bounties if you can. Thank you.